are the lifeblood of American freedom, serving in some of the harshest situations to secure that freedom across the globe. This is the Lounge with Legends show, celebrating their transformation from battlefield to business. The Lounge with Legends show with Marty the Moac Martinez and James A. Phelps, a.k.a. Spartan 6.
Bam! Wow. We're live.
I never get used to that, seeing your face on camera.
It's amazing. I'm a good-looking man.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Of course. I'm not.
Thank you.
Loren Michael Harris makes sure that everybody knows I look like Eddie Munster, according to him.
That is true. That is
a mean man. How's your week been, James? On what is this episode? What do we say? Episode 12.
It is episode 12. I can't believe it's already 12. Wow. My week has been interesting. You know, I've been doing a lot of. I know you are not a fan of the word multitasking, but I've been doing a lot of multitasking this week.
Yeah. It's not that I'm not a fan of multitasking. I just think it's about the decision making and task management. You know, it's really deciding on where you focus your time. But and that's a key point. You know, it's where do you focus your time and how do you divide your time and energy. But so you've been multitasking. What have you been doing?
Well, I've been, my daughter is not in school right now, my youngest daughter. So she didn't have summer camp this week. So this week it's been full hua. You never go full hua. Everyone knows that.
Right.
But I've been full hua busy this week trying to do some things. If she pops in here, don't be surprised. She might jump in here. But it's amazing. You know, it's one of the things that the beauty of being a dad and a father, you know, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
But what about you? Haven't you were supposed to, I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag. Yesterday you did some stuff and you were supposed to be attacked by a dog, but you didn't do it.
Yeah. So yesterday my wife, she had her change of command ceremony. So she was battalion commander, surrendered the guidon, did her change of command. And afterwards we worked it out so that I could be attacked by the military working dog. And at first I wasn't feeling well, I get the migraines. And but then I was feeling great. But then Coach was not having it. She was like, "Dad, you're doing what? Dad, no, that makes no sense. Why would you do that?" So Coach is probably the smart one.
I gotta buy her something. Make sure that she sends a list to me because I want to make sure I get her something because she definitely has the intelligence in that relationship there.
But we're going to do it. We're going to get this. This is going to be awesome. We'll do it live. I'm going to run. We're going to get the dog. It'll be fun. It's going to be good.
Talking about Coach, didn't you all both do something together this week? Didn't you start something?
We did. So Coach started her brand new YouTube channel. And we haven't published anything yet because I'm teaching her about video editing and all that, but she is now Candy Girl. And it's basically her walking around and doing her summer exploits here in the DC, basically on the East Coast. So she's going to talk about, like we just did the Army Navy Museum. We're doing the video editing on that right now. She's doing some unboxing videos. She's doing her STEM classes that I teach her. So we're doing some how she leverages augmented reality and to learn about earthquakes and sound and all the other things. And then she also does her coding for Roblox and Minecraft and stuff like that. So, and of course, ballet. So
the crazy thing is that's why they call her Coach. I got to call her for advice. She's the one telling me how to do these things. I can't even figure out how to do the videos sometimes. So Coach is already the expert.
I know. It's pretty awesome, and she's picking it up. She definitely does not like the video editing. She just likes to shoot. She wants to do everything live. But tell her how you got to this is where you have to put some thought to it. How we're going to do it. So now we're getting into the boring side of it. Of okay, where are we going to shoot? What are we going to do? Let's think about it. So, but awesome. She's having fun. That's what it's about. So this week we have. This episode is the one with the courageous ones. So we have two special guests. This is a first. We have one repeat offender, Loren Michaels Harris, our very first guest and one of my favorites. And we have one of my favorite NCOs of all time. And I was in for 28 years. And JB Jaso, he's on. We were Wolfhounds together. And he served with, so if you look at kind of our past guest that we had, he was one of my go-to guys with our, what was he, episode 4, Lamont Christian. Mm-hmm. So our major and I, we went with him on that. And then also last week we had Soraya on, and we served together. We're on the same deployment that we talked about. Soraya, JB was on that one. So a lot of different people there. So it'll be interesting. So let's bring them on and let's get them in here. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. We need a countdown or something. I don't know, but we'll bring them on.
Lauren's getting expensive. Getting him on these shows is getting kind of costly.
I can't afford them.
I know.
Listen, I told you to charge them double to be on. I'll call you back. Sorry, I was talking here. I mean,
send the invoice to Marty, please.
My sister.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. I thank you for being here. This episode means so much to me because I wanted to make this happen and have you guys on here as we close out Pride Month. But I wanted to make it a special episode because I wanted to have two of my favorite people on here, and I really can't wait to get this thing kicked off, and especially having Loren back on. That's hard because Loren is very hard to get scheduled. To get scheduled because you are very busy. You're about to go on vacation right now, right?
Yep. And I'm going to show you and share with you no one knows this, my intricate, very expensive technical system for how to keep myself in line. And there it is. So there's today, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Bam.
But that isn't a to-do list. That isn't an appointment schedule. That is proof of blessing.
There you go.
Everything there is a blessing, just like this. So thanks for having me.
And then, so Lauren's getting ready to go on vacation. JB, thank you for your service. Combat vet, recently retired. I was going to say, Loren, can we get a ring of the bell of purpose on that one?
So I didn't want to just like.
No. I appreciate it though, because I had my range of that, but it's now been repurposed for Candy Girl. So it says, "Stay sweet, y'all." So,
appropriate for the final day of Pride Month. and might I say, on behalf of our community, Marty, if you ever want to change teams, clearly you're a natural. I mean, you threw that. That was just okay, you guys. I'm done. I never get to do this. I can't help it. I'm going to be good. JB
recently retired. So he's on his, what'd you call it? Your farewell tour?
Yeah, my farewell tour. So I'm just took a 30-day, once I left active duty service at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I decided to do a 30-day farewell tour, visiting family and friends throughout the country as I moved from North Carolina out to California. So I'm currently in Flagstaff, Arizona, about to go up to the Grand Canyon for the next few days and then finish up my trip throughout Arizona and then Southern California, and I'm home. So lots of in and outs, and I could have all the in and out I want finally. But there's no sweet tea in California. I had some sweet tea last night here in Arizona. They said it was sweet, and it was absolutely horrible.
I bought some Arizona sweet tea here in the can.
They market it.
Oh man!
Oh my God! So yeah, no, it's been amazing to watch JB's tour as he goes and asks for advice. Hey, I'm going here. Where should I go? I've even chimed in. I think you were going to Scottsdale or Phoenix, and my recommendation was somewhere with air condition. So it's been pretty awesome. When we had him in the green room, and James mentioned that as we always say, listen to your NCOs. I should have listened to mine and actually taken my 30-day farewell tour. Instead, I took a weekend and then started my job. And I haven't stopped after 28 years. So, but congrats, and I'm glad to see that both of you guys are getting very much needed R&R. And so,
well deserved.
Yeah.
Loren, you've been busy. I see you have here free gifts for all your viewers. I'm going to put this up here. What can you tell us about this real quick?
Yeah, that's my masterclass through the Elevate platform. They're a great company out of London, and it's just like your regular masterclass, and it's free of charge though, so you don't have to go and subscribe and all of that. And so I love it because it's nice to be able to give a gift just because. So there it is, 13 modules, and just take it. And if you feel so inclined, leave a review.
Yeah, I've taken it. I left a review. It is absolutely amazing. It's powerful. And I'm not just saying that because Loren's on the show. I really did thoroughly enjoy it. And it's moving, and it's in the comments. So if you're watching this, please check it out. You can't beat it. But I want to shift focus, and then real quick to JB. And we're getting lots of comments in here. I appreciate it. I can't keep up with them all. But we got Ruben. I got to show Ruben Triple Nickel in the house. Appreciate all that you've done this month. I know we've got our Triple Nickel on. Got my hat in the back.
JB, are you feeling left out?
I am a little bit.
We got the logo right here.
You're
good.
Drop your shipping address in the comments. Ruben will have something coming to your door by Wednesday for sure.
That's my bad. I couldn't get it to him. Oh shit! Sorry, I couldn't get it to JB because of his 30-day whirlwind tour. I couldn't keep up with him. So,
well, not only that, these shirts are so fire. They're selling out like crazy. So I mean, you can't. I mean, these things are hard to find. You have to come down in July to the Veterans Grow America event and get them in person. That's what you got to do.
You know, you're absolutely right about that. I just want people to know he's not just saying that. It's true because our tech kid that comes over. I have my own little private geek squad guy, and he saw I was wearing one of their shirts one day, and he wants two for he and his brother. And I went to order it as a gift. Sold out, waiting for it to come back on the market to be available. So it's a real deal. They're doing great. I'm so happy. And don't they feel great? Everybody says, God, that shirt looks great on you. It's the only one they say that. So I wear it all the time.
Right? Well, the good thing though, Loren, they still have Marty size. They have schmedium still left. So you can get it.
No, I bought the last one for Marty.
You're kidding.
It was the Pride shirt. I put it on this bear. It sold out too. He clicked in about 2 minutes too late.
Sorry, Loren. Where'd he go? We lost Loren.
That's my trick.
We're having technical difficulties.
Just kidding.
So anyway, so JB, let's take it back to you, brother. So you retired. You retired with what, 5 years in the Army?
Close to that, about 23.
I was off a little bit.
Yeah.
So you and I served together in Hawaii. And fun fact, you also served with my brother in Hawaii. You and I served in 2nd Brigade, and you and Bubba, Jonathan, served in 3rd Brigade. And so, and then you, like I said, you served with Soraya with us in 2nd Brigade and with Lamont in 2nd Brigade. So how much time total did you spend in Hawaii?
Oh, I think just over 8 years. So it's pretty, well, I guess duty assignment, 8 years, not counting the 2 long deployments and trips to PTA and NTC and JRTC and West Point and everywhere else. But yeah, it's about just over 8 years. It's pretty phenomenal. I have my claw mark should be in the lava rock still.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because you can see the impact that it's made on you. Because if you talk about living the spirit of aloha, I think I've never seen that in anyone greater than you, other than people that were actually Hawaiian. And so, would you say that's one of your favorite assignments overall, or?
Oh, absolutely. I think without doubt the 8 years there, and then I think one thing when you look back to, growing up in Southern California real quickly, I grew up in Boy Scouts, and the Boy Scouts of America really gave me my values as a kid. And then joining the Army, I gained, the Army told me what my values were going to be. So like throughout my whole life, somebody told me what my values were going to be. And so as I was preparing to retire, I looked back at like, what are my real values now? Nobody gets to tell me now after 42 years of my life, I get to choose my own values. And I think that was something I look back at those 8 years, being in the 2nd Battalion, 5th Infantry Regiment, Bobcats, with your brother, deploying to Afghanistan with them. And then the 1st Battalion, 27th Infantry Regiment, Wolfhounds, which I served with you. Those 8 years and those 2 phenomenal units really helped shape my values to what I really appreciate, what I love, and what I value in life. So I think that was, I would say, out of the 23 years, probably the most impactful 8 years of my 23 years were there on the islands.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat where you have a few years of your life in a unit or something, those formative years that really have the impact for the rest of your life. For me, it was my growing up in Ranger Regiment, where really gives me the drive to go and 100% and then some, careful equipment, blah, 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 all that other stuff, that we go on about. Loren, what did you have a unit, or was there a time in the military career that you would say set those values or set you on a course?
Yeah. Yes. I'm kidding. I was trying to make it hard, testing your interview skills. Okay. All right.
I was about to come in. I was about to swoop in.
I'm serious. Hey, listen. Yeah. Because, like I said, I didn't plan to go in. I went to see a movie and thought I'd kill an extra 45 minutes. Next thing you know, I'm in a MEP station because I went and saw a free video. Instead of staying in line. Right. I just want to tell people this. I don't care. No offense to those who are out there doing their job under this title, but I am confident that recruiters eat their young. I'm just saying, because that guy was so good. He was so good, man. But anyway, I went in thinking discipline, a lot of things like that, having left the foster system, and the only experience I'd had in the world was having just returned from a year tour with the group called Up With People. So they opened the lens to the world for me, and I was bitten. So the obvious choice for multiple reasons, when you're coming out of the foster care system, there's not, first of all, it was very difficult for me to go to school. I was going to have to go a quarter on, a quarter off, live off campus and all those things because there was no financial aid set up wherein, back then, FAFSA required parents and guardians taxes. If you aged out of the system, you can't just give it to your social worker and say, here, can you fill this out? I need your tax information, caseworker. So anyway, it was going to be pay and go. So when the military popped up, I took it as a sign and I went. But really what it did for me was I didn't know that they had, the competitions. So when I got there, it was like 6 weeks before the first base level competition for the Air Force talent thing. And got in it because I thought I could meet people. I was new and won the base command level later, ATC, Air Training Command, and then went on and won worldwide and went and toured with Tops and Blue and did that 2 years. So my first 2 years were really pretty. I wasn't in uniform. You're getting promoted left and right, and you're like having lunch at the White House, stuff like that, singing at the Christmas tree ceremony, that kind of stuff. And then I got back and it got real, and I worked in base contracting, so I learned a lot about discipline. It started in basic when what do you mean fold my underwear with the label all in the middle and all that? But then, of course, that's when the gayness in me really came out because I was getting paid to fold. It was a little bit selfish, and now I think about it, that I was actually folding other people's underwear, clean, of course, but also putting hems in pants. I had a cottage industry and basic training, but it brought stuff out of me. I didn't know, I'd never thought about doing my own thing within something else, like being an entrepreneur while you're still in corporate or whatever. So really the military gave me stretch. It really gave me stretch to just dream bigger, because you have so many examples of things you never knew existed. A lot of us come into the military from our own little corner of the world, only having experienced what we've seen or been told. But the military just really, it did all the things a parent should have done for me that I didn't have. It created a loyalty within my spirit, a brotherhood mindset that you only get if you're in college in a fraternity or a sorority. You know what I mean? Things that you can only get in a couple places. The military offers a variety of those for people. And I always thought it was for people who couldn't get into college. You know, I really did. That's what I had thought. It was like, if you went to the recruiter's office, it was like, oh, bombed your SATs, huh? You know, but it was not the case at all. So, yeah.
Marty actually did, Loren.
Huh?
I said Marty actually did. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, well, one little thing I want to drop in there, though, for those of you who are in the know and have some force behind that, one thing I hope they're doing today is sharing with kids early all of the opportunities, how you can go to college before and then come in, go to college and move out of enlisted into, being an officer and all of that commissioned status. There's so many different worlds within that one universe. And it's just a wonderful opportunity. Even people who go in at the age cutoff. I have a friend who did that the very last 6 months, and he's never been happier. So can't say enough good about it for me.
Loren, you hit on something there. I mean, we come from these neighborhoods growing up where there's a lot of, when you join the military, it rips off the blinders, the shutters, whatever, and you're, wow, it's a whole new world, you know, and that's kind of why specifically I wrote the summary for this episode the way I was, because we're minorities in multiple regards.
Yeah,
African American, we're Mexican American, we're Asian, we have all left-handed, right-handed, whatever it is. We all have different things. And
you can say it.
What? You
got your rainbow pocket square. You might as well go ahead and throw that in. And there's even a gay one here. Elephant in the room. Okay, so there we go. I'll be a little more honest.
We have gay people, we have non-gay people, we have whatever it is. We're all different minorities, but it's now, how do you cohabitate? How do you do this? And that's what's unique, because we've all went through this. Because when I came from San Antonio, everyone kind of looked like me. You know?
San Antonio.
Yeah, because you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Martinez, right?
What were you doing in San Antonio? That's Air Force territory.
I was born in Texas.
Okay. You scared me. I was like, what? You were on Lackland? Okay.
No, so when I came in the military, it was like, what? So it was a little bit different. So JB, was there any of that when you came in the military as a Mexican American, where you had a little bit of culture shock and that you had to go through?
Yeah, so I think I grew up in Long Beach, California. So I went to high school at Long Beach Polytechnic High School, or Long Beach Poly. So it's a lot of people in Southern throughout California know about Poly. And obviously Poly meaning, different, many things. Diversity in our school is very big. So I think for me, I was very lucky to grow up in Long Beach we had so much diversity. So when I joined the military, it was really welcoming to see people from, different races, different ethnic groups, from, the gay community, LGBT plus community, to, some country folks that have never been to a big city. And so it was really fun to see all that and to learn from so many people. I think that was one of my values that I really looked at for me as I got out of the military was diversity. And, all the places that I traveled to, I've always tried to embrace their culture and figure out what was getting the people motivated within their communities or their nation. And I was really lucky. Right before I went to Hawaii in 2001, I was actually in South Korea, stationed in South Korea during the 9/11 attacks. And so I was up at Camp Red Cloud, and
I was celebrating South Korea, not
right. Wait for it, James.
Yeah. So, but I was there for 9/11 attacks. I was there for when South Korea and Japan hosted the World Cup. So just seeing 9/11 and then seeing the excitement that the South Koreans had during the World Cup and just embracing that. It was just phenomenal, even to our days of like you and I, Marty, when we went to Iraq and just embracing the Iraqi culture when we lived there, and walking the streets and eating the food and meeting the sheikhs and just being with them was just absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how many cups of chai tea I drank there. I don't know, but it's absolutely phenomenal. But how much goat I ate, but it was just I think for me, the diversity on that side was, I think how I was raised really helped me move forward. And then Long Beach is a very, there's a very huge LGBT community in Long Beach, California. And I remember growing up, we had, gay pride back in the 90s. And so I think that really shaped, even though, we haven't really talked about this, so maybe I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but when, you talk a little, well, we'll come back to that too. But, growing up and knowing, I knew since I was 5 years old that I was gay. I knew I was attracted to guys at that point.
You are? Oh my God. I'm not kidding. My gaydar is rusted. I was sitting up here trying to figure out, he must have a kid or live next door to one of us or something. Wonder what his name is. Wow.
Right. So I knew since 5. And then, so I think what really, I was always scared to come out during that point, so back in the 80s and 90s as a kid growing up, so I think you always ask people about freedom and what freedom means. And so I think that for me, like I was just really closed and not being myself. And like growing up, like I had girlfriends, but it wasn't really the same, and so I met my best friend when I was a private, when I was stationed at Fort Lewis, now Joint Base Lewis McChord. Met my best friend, and she was absolutely phenomenal and absolutely loved spending every single time with her. But, unfortunately, we ended up going to Hawaii, and she came with me. We ended up getting married, and I thought it was the right thing to do. But then, obviously, that was the right thing for me to do at that point. And then I think once it's been a decade now that the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy has been repealed. So September will celebrate 10 years of that. Right. And I think that was something that once that was repealed by President Obama, I think that was something that really, it just felt like a pimple popping, just like popping my pimple. And like, it was just like a relief. And that was like the freedom, like for me was like, what freedom means is to be who you are, to be yourself, and to be able to speak how you want to speak and do what you want to do. And, we went to Iraq, we have been to Korea, I've been to all these different countries throughout the world and seen how people cannot do things that we could do here in America. And so once the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy was repealed, I was actually in Afghanistan for my 3rd tour and overseas. And I think that was that point when, you have that alone time when you're just sitting there on the cot, just thinking about stuff. I was like, that's the point for me that I know I'm going to break a tremendous amount of hearts and I'm going to get a lot of people upset, but I just need to live my life to the fullest, and I need to be like myself. And I'm just tired of like living in this little closet, in this little world where I just couldn't be who I am. And, unfortunately, I separated my family when I decided to come out, but I'm 100% happy now. And move forward, and it's been phenomenal for me, and just to be myself now, and it's just been fun. I was really scared of losing friends and family, and there's been a couple friends here or there I've lost, but I think those, especially all my Wolfhound brothers and my Bobcat brothers, who I was probably the most scared about. Like, you're around infantrymen, and like I was just always scared. I'm like, infantrymen don't want to be around gay guys, and then those were like the closest bonds I ended up forming even more when I came out. Like, they were there for me, and they're like, whenever you need to talk, whenever you need to do anything, we're here for you. And I think that was just phenomenal from there. So, yeah.
And JD,
I was going to say, I commend you, JB. I mean, the amount of strength and courage that it took, and for that, I mean, I couldn't even imagine. And that's the thing, we all like to have empathy for others, but unless you're actually in that situation, how you truly can't understand how someone's actually living. So, I mean, that's just this courage and strength. I salute you for that, man. I always told people when I was serving in the military and all the soldiers that I worked with, I said, I don't look at, when I look at you, all I see is us Army. It says us Army. And they were like, why do you say us Army? I said, because I don't care your background. I said, we are here collectively together as brothers, sisters. I don't care about your orientation. All I care about is it's us together. And that's amazing that and that's what I think a lot of people are scared of. And I'm sure that's what you went through those first few years in the military.
Yeah, definitely. And I think something that is really interesting too. I think for us, I look back at, like I said, I'm 42. I look back at my life and the things I did and even coming out. Like a lot of people was like, oh, when did you choose to be gay? And that was something that was really big for me. Is it was never a choice for me. The choice was hiding it. And I was, Lady Gaga says it perfect. I was born this way. And like,
now I see it.
But so I think you were just born that way. Like, it's the choice is not the choice of being, gay or straight or bi or whatever. It was just, that was the point where I was just born this way. And, the choice was when it was the time for me to come out. And I think that was the hard part, definitely hard.
Yeah, JB, I was going to say when I found out that you came out, I was sad, and I was sad because I wasn't there. Because when I was your commander, I treated everyone as family, and I was sad because I was like, I can't imagine what you're going through, and I feel like I wish I was there, so I could be there for my Wolfhound brother. Because I treated every single one of you guys when we were deployed. Or even before we were deployed, we were all there prepping to deploy. We were converting from light infantry to striker, and all the time we spent together, the word Ohana took on a new meaning. And that was the first thing that came to mind, is when I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be there for JB. I wish I could, whatever you needed, I wish I could be there for you. And it broke my heart that I couldn't be there for you, brother. But I want to say that for you and for anyone else that's out there, no matter what you're going through, whatever's there, I'm always there for you. And I love you, man. And I've told you that over and over. And I mean it. It's just not like a Hallmark kind of love you. No, I really do, because we have been through so much, and you have served with me and my brother. And like I said, we've been through a lot of stuff. And so, and that's why it broke my heart that I wasn't there to be with you, but I'm here with you now, and I'm here for whatever you need.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I definitely love you too, and obviously, like you said, the Ohana, and that was really good, because when I did come out, I did feel alone and isolated, and somewhat in the same sense of when I decided to retire and left. When I raised my hand, I'm like, oh, I'm going to retire, sign the paperwork, I'm going to retire. I got 12 months to get out. In that same instance, like, that was a repeat of isolation again, because my unit was still going forward. They're still fighting the fight and moving forward. And then, in both instances, when I came out, and then obviously when I decided to retire, I was like thrown to the side. I was isolated by myself. But there was people like even you, like Marty, like right when I said I was going to retire, you hit me up and we just started talking. And you pointed me in those right directions to connect me with the right people. And that was the same thing when I came out. There was people that were there that, a lot of my Wolfhound Bobcat brothers, came out, oh, my brother's, gay, or my sister's a lesbian, or my aunt, or this or that. They're like, let me connect you with them so you could go through that, and you have somebody there, your battle buddy to get you through that. And I think that's what I really appreciated, in both instances where I was isolated, basically. I think that really benefited me, was having, that friendship and that brotherhood and sisterhood to bring me together and point me in the right direction.
Yeah, that's when you find out who your true friends are. It's not the fair weather ones that are around just when the weather is nice outside. It's the ones that are there for you in your darkest hour. That's the friends you want to hold on to. So I can tell you, JB, that Marty has the utmost respect for you. He's always talked highly of you. So I know he's there for you, just like he's there for me. And Loren's there for me. He sent me a text a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember, Loren. You sent me a text. How are you doing? It was just a random act of kindness, but that day I needed to hear those words. So I appreciate it. That's what it's about. True friends.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to cut to commercial. And when we come back, I want to switch and talk about living under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and living outside of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, because I think a lot of us don't have an appreciation for that. So let's cut to commercial, and we'll see you back.
You're watching the Lounge with Legends TV show with your hosts, Marty Martinez and James A. Phelps.
All right. I don't know how that Lauren Michaels Harris coaching commercial got in there, but
I don't either. You know that guy?
Have you never heard the song "You're Under My Spell"? Oh wait, I'm under your spell.
Well,
either way, it worked.
I was watching an episode with we did the triple nickel as well. But so what do you think? Would Chris like these, Loren?
Oh yes, yes he would, and he'd also like that booster seat that Marty's sitting on. That was a twofer. Get it? Right. And Chris will know why. Anyway, yeah. I like those. Are those
just like them?
Oh, they don't even have a lens. Okay.
Hey JB, we got a Sergeant Major Lamont Christian in the house.
Yeah, I love it. I just saw his trailer. I was traveling somewhere in the last 20 days. I don't know where. Tennessee, I think I saw his recruiting trailer out there with his picture out there. So I
just posted a picture of mine just last week. My daughter was like, "Dad, what are we doing? Why did you just flip a U-turn?" I'm like, "I just saw Chris. I got to take a picture." And he was like, So anyways, and I think, Loren, I think Ruben's going to make sure that gets back to Chris on you. So.
Oh, okay, good. Because Chris and I have a friendly little thing going back.
Hey, Chris, I was doing it out of respect. Loren was, doing his thing. I was doing it out of respect.
Well, the great thing too was, for me, I connected with Chris a couple months ago, actually, and he was the one that actually motivated me to do my podcast. And so it was really cool to see him involved with Triple Nickel as well. So it made me pretty happy to see that as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Real quick, let's talk about your podcast, because this is fascinating. I love it. It's called well, you tell us what it's about.
It's Life and Times with JB. So I think what I really I think there was a couple things that, like, Chris really started really pointing me in this right direction. I met him through a veteran service organization called the Leader Transition Institute, and he was a guest speaker during one of their monthly events. And Chris was really talking about, like, podcasts and the things that are the benefits of a podcast. And he was talking about how you could promote yourself, but how you could promote other people as well, and then how to become a better speaker as well. And so you put all that together, and I decided, I'm like, man, I've always really thought about doing a podcast, but never knew how to do it or what to do. So he really put me in the right direction, or pointed me in the right direction. And so my podcast is, a lot of people have always been intrigued with my life and things I do and places I travel and that kind of stuff. And so my podcast is really based off of bringing on guests and sharing those experiences that I had with somebody else, or where I traveled to, or anything like that. So yeah, it's found everywhere, Spotify, iTunes, wherever podcasts can be found. So I'm a little bit behind because, as you know, in their final days and final months of transitioning out of the military, it gets pretty hectic. And then I was doing grad school, and then now on the road, driving all across the nation. So been a little bit behind, but plan to get back up in a couple of weeks when I'm back in California.
So are you driving like as the Griswolds, or are you driving in Winnebago? What are you driving in?
So I'm driving in my 4-door Jeep Wrangler. That probably doesn't go more than 75 miles an hour. So people are honking at us as we're driving by. But yeah, it's full from the back to the front, and you open the door, everything falls out. It's really funny because we went on Fort Bliss the other day, and they're like, "Oh, can you roll down your windows in the back?" And I'm like, "Oh, the things are gonna fall out." And literally, so we cracked them. You can start seeing stuff falling out of the windows. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
And so you've got like your entire. Are you like basically PCSing right now as you make your world tour over to California from Bragg?
So yeah, so definitely moving. So I have some stuff in temporary storage that the movers will bring, but yeah, so basically I just stuffed everything in my car or in the Jeep and making our way west. So when we are able to stay with family and friends for a couple of days, and we unload it and let the Jeep air out.
That's so cool. This is a good story. Loren, you need to get him on Bathrobe Moments once you get settled, man. This is it'd be a funny story.
Yeah.
But
Loren, are you driving a Jeep down from Chicago to North Carolina? How are you getting down here?
In the Volvo. Because if you fall asleep in there, it'll drive you where you're going by itself. So I'm just saying, you know.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
no, we're gonna be in the car.
And
it'll be packed like that. I definitely relate to JB's scenario. So it's gonna be packed.
And where are you going to North Carolina?
3 places: Asheville, then what's that one? I always get it confused. Not Charleston, that's Laz. The other C place. Charlotte. Yeah, Asheville, Charlotte, then Charleston, then back.
Oh, nice.
It'll be a good trip.
Yeah.
Nice places. Love Asheville.
Yeah.
We'll be following you along your journey because I know you'll still be filming.
I'll be going live. Yep.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
We'll be turning in for sure.
Thank you.
And I'll be hanging out with James in 2 weeks in Raleigh, and we're going to go down and link up with Ruben and the Triple Nickel team down at Veterans Grow America at Fort Bragg. So we're going to go down there, link up with them. Fort Bragg, where it all began, 82nd Airborne, center of the universe.
Airborne.
We'll be down there, but awesome. So we had talked about, real quick, life under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and life after it. And it was one of the things we had asked Clark Cooper about, the Honorable Clark Cooper. He was episode 5. And because he had served on both sides. And so both of you had served under both sides of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So if you can you share some insights about that? Because that's something that I can't even imagine.
Well, I actually served on 2 different ones than I believe JB, because I believe JB, when you came in, it was in place. Mm-hmm. And then it was eradicated while you were still there. I'm the opposite. I was there before it was put in place, which was a totally different world, which was the reason Clinton, and that group said to put something in place, started the ball. Because 82 to 86 was when it was that was it. That was the beginning of the end for me, seriously. And then, of course, I think it was 92 when the bill was passed. But it was the only way I can put it, because I did not even realize what was happening. And there was an incident. And I had just assumed that I was feeling and processing what had happened the way I was because I'd had 14 abuse encounters those years I was in foster care. So for me, it was like, if you had a broken bone once or twice growing up, it's like, oh yeah, no biggie. I've had that before. It felt like that. So I didn't even push anything. They handled it all wrong. It was as if it's like this. The way the military was then, of course, you're going to have those people that are questioning their own sexuality. How can you not? Like people say, I don't know any gay people. Yes, you do. You sat and had dinner with them, lunch with them, got undressed in the locker room with them, and all kinds of stuff. I don't care how many times you woke up the next day and were like, boy, I don't remember nothing from last night. Whatever. So I'm just saying, let's just keep it real. And the thing about it is, it's because of that shroud of secrecy and this, that, and the other. When something happened to me, which was all the 40-some years later, I didn't even go to the military. I didn't go to the VA and say, oh, go look at my file for this thing that happened in the 80s. They happened to be in there about something else that I requested and couldn't get my hands on the document, and I needed it. And the person who went in said, tell me about that situation I read about in your file. Like, what situation? And then when they brought it, I said, oh, that's in there? Because the way they acted, I thought, no way would they be leaving a paper trail, because there are no computers then. Oh, but they did. And that 40-some years later was their ass. That's all I'm saying about it. Because you guys know I just got service connected. And they're not done. They're like, you're at 70, but it was so strong. We're digging deeper because what happened with you has a bunch of residual bathtub rings that we're pretty sure explain a lot of things that happened to you for decades after you left the military. Seriously. I mean, I got to go in for a sleep study in a couple weeks because they're like, have you ever experienced? I said, yeah, actually, and da-da-da. And then they did the pre-test with the bracelet. They go, you're a severe case. And so the interesting part is, all I'll say is this. I was not hiding anything because you gotta understand, when I got to my base for real, I'd already been on the road in the military performing for 2 years. So, I mean, I was like spoiled, I guess you could say, by my base. My base was Air Force. First of all, it's the Air Force. Okay, so our chow hall had McDonald's on one side and 4-star dining with silver and crystal on the other side. And I worked in base contracting. So we spent the money. So I knew that our officers were getting, I mean, we'd spend hundreds of thousands of dollars redoing the space between the gym and the racquetball court, just in case this 4-star general who likes to play racquetball walks through there. Not saying he was even going to go. We spent all this stuff just because. I mean, new TVs, new everything, just because the wife liked this. 6 different types of hair conditioners and just everything you could think of, right? So what happened with Don't Ask and Don't Tell with me was like being a part of an underground world where the military turned overnight, I'm just keeping it real, into like the mob. Because I was the one who was abused and made my way back to my room, went in, and my roommate was like, what's wrong with you? And I just said, just nothing. I went to sleep. And 3 hours later, the MPs are knocking on my door. Never questioned, threw me against the wall. This guy said I did this to him when really it was the other way around. And I think the thing that, let's just put it this way. I went straight to after that, because they locked me up in jail for 2 days and then took me from there and put me in temporary officers' quarters for 3.5 weeks. Can't come out. Everything was brought in. They towed my car where I couldn't find it, took everything in my room and locked it up in the dorm. All these things, no mail, no communication with work, no uniforms, no shoes, nothing in that room with me but the TV and a little refrigerator and like a hotel room. And when they let me out, go back to work like nothing happened, boom, boom, boom. Well, that's not possible.
Right.
It's like, you know, it's everywhere. And your base is your town. It really, especially if you live on base. So I didn't know really what happened, how far it reached until I started connecting with Air Force friends who knew me. And one was my roommate at that time because we moved off base together. His girlfriend, and myself into an apartment right after that. And they did that to help me get out of there. And when we reconnected on a fishing trip a couple years ago, they kept saying, we're so sorry for what you experienced. We're so sorry. I said, why do you guys keep saying that? You know, because this thing where they found it in my files hadn't resurfaced yet. And so all I want to say is, I'm just grateful to see that all people, no matter if it's he, him, she, hers, they, whatever the pronoun is that fits who a person knows that they are, because no one's guessing their way into purpose. Doesn't happen. I'm just grateful to see that, you know, if you're willing to give your life, that people are willing to at least try to understand your life. That's all that matters. And so it was rough, and of course it still is. I mean, I have to start seeing a person with the military sexual trauma division here in Chicago 2 weeks after I return from my vacation, because there are things that I haven't been able to, corners I haven't been able to turn yet, and I never knew why. Other things worked through it professionally, personally, spiritually, but there are others that just I could not crack the code on them. And now I know where possibly the keys to those codes exist in there. So I just want to say, just being here in the presence of all of you and all of those that are watching, and all the work that I've done with the veteran community, it reinstilled a lot in me that I felt was fraudulent because of what they did. Because you know how we take the military and it's like a big comforter that we all just wrap around us and pass it, and you don't think twice about it. One for all and all for one, that sort of thing. But there are those of us who, I'll tell you this, last thing, in conclusion, I will never, ever when someone speaks about the treatment of Vietnam vets by the people in this country, I won't let that just go in like, oh, I've always heard that story, and let it go out the other side again. Because I only know felt this much here 37 years later, still dealing with it clearly. Just like so many people that it's 57 years or however long it's been since the Vietnam War and when they served in that era, that are still homeless, that are still missing, that are still invisible, that have gone on to so many layers of the onion, further away from who they ever were. And everybody walks over them, steps over them, they're invisible. And so there's still a lot of work to be done, is what I'm saying. The battle isn't over, but the fight, we've won a couple rounds, but the battle is nowhere near over.
Yeah, we've moved the needle, but it's not done yet.
No.
Yeah, but I appreciate you both having the courage to come on and share your story. And it really does. It means the world to me, because it's not, I can't imagine. It's not easy. But,
well, and I will say this. It's the people, though, that I served with, and the people that have served, because, you know, I served with you guys and I wasn't even in. We all served with the Vietnam era, the Korean War, every soldier, past, present, and future. And I'm just grateful that I get this back now because of the openness, people like Triple Nickel, like yourselves, and all the other pioneers who people will never know their names. They'll never have statues in their honor. Same thing with the Stonewall movement. Thank you, Triple Nickel, for opening my eyes to that. I didn't even know it existed until they called on me to speak on it. And who would have ever thought that a gay person like in my age, 59 on the 4th of July, would be learning about Stonewall for the very first time from a straight special ops kind of person group. You see what I'm saying? It's not about what we think. It's always about how we choose to think.
Right.
And so I'm open to learn, and I'm open to teach, and we should all be that way. So just very grateful for all of you.
Hey, JB, since you've already asked the Freedom Means question, and you did such a great job, I'm gonna switch it up on you. And I'm reading a book. I'm rereading a book. I've read it several times, and it's called Ikigai. And despite what that is, that's not Loren running around naked on the beach. Ikigai is about.
Thank you. That was a compliment, and you didn't even realize it.
Ikigai.
People, you might not like it, but
is Japanese for meaning.
Don't come for me.
Giving every day meaning and joy. Right? It's a wonderful book. And so as you have retired and you've closed a chapter and you're transforming and progressing and evolving to a new chapter in your life, how are you planning to give meaning to every day, meaning and joy every day in your life now?
Well, as you know, I think I'm just always like trying to live every day to the fullest and just have the most fun I can every single day and try to make the best out of it. But one of the things, back in 2006, actually, so one of my high school best friends, Tyler Nason, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he was 25 years old. And a lot of people don't really know about pancreatic cancer. More recently, we have heard a lot more about it, especially with Alex Trebek dying last year, and Patrick Swayze's died, and Aretha Franklin, and so we've had quite a few people, famous people, that have passed away from pancreatic cancer. And so when he was diagnosed in 2006, he was athletic. He went to Cal Berkeley, ran on the track cross country teams, super athletic. And I didn't know anything about pancreatic cancer. I didn't even know what the pancreas does at that point either. And and so I was like, oh, he'll be fine. You know, like he go through some chemo, he'll be back up and running again. And he invited me right after I got back from our deployment with the Wolfhounds to Iraq. So in 2009, I came back and I went to DC to do some advocacy with him for pancreatic cancer research and funding. And so I went there and I learned that the 5-year survivability rate for anybody that's diagnosed with pancreatic cancer is at that point was only 4%. So that means 96% of people that have diagnosed with pancreatic cancer will die. And so I really got involved with that fight. And I think that's what, when you talk about the book, that's my passion, is to continue to help raise the survivability for pancreatic cancer patients. And so today in 2021, we're at 10%, which is still not good enough. So my friend Tyler passed away when he was 30, so he survived 5 years. And so as I move into California, I'll be assuming the position as the affiliate chair for the Orange County, California Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. So the Orange County affiliate. And so I'll be taking that over in just over a week. And so I'm really excited to be doing that and moving forward and helping fight the fight for survivability for pancreatic cancer patients. So
that's beautiful.
That's my fight.
Beautiful. Hey, JB, let us know how we can help support you on that.
For sure.
And get the word out. So, gentlemen, this has been an amazing episode. We could go on for at least another hour, I know. But I appreciate you all coming on and helping to share your story. This has been awesome. I appreciate it. And I'd love to have you guys back on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for the courage and strength.
Yeah. And again, as we always say, we thank you for your service.
Oh, ditto.
Thank you.
Marty, as we get out of here, I just want to say, I heard I was going to send you some Godiva chocolates because I know you have from time to time indulged in an occasional chocolate fantasy, but I didn't get there in time to get it out to you. So this will have to do. Okay, take that with you. As we go, that was my last gay pride joke of the month, and I got a bunch of them in this time. This is better than April Fool's Day this month. So I'm not kidding you. I got so many people this time. Thank you all, JB.
Thank you
too.
Thank you.
Yeah. I love you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, JB. I hope they stay in the green room so we can follow up with them after that. But James, this was an awesome episode. I'm gonna have to close this out so we don't get in trouble for going after our hour.
I know. 360 TV might get mad.
Yeah, we got Megan Trapp next week. It's gonna be awesome. Deadlift Diva, come back next week, same time, same station.
You've been watching the Lounge with Legend show on E360 TV, countering the narrative that veterans are all broken misfit toys. Veterans are the lifeblood of American freedom. Serving in harsh situations, coupled with their training, have forged them into some of the most resilient and capable leaders in the world. And that's where we come in, celebrating the success stories, taking you on a journey of transformation from military to business. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back soon. But find us on Facebook at Lounge with Legend or at JTF214. Till next time.